You know, I can't believe it. A few weeks ago, I was all rugged up in the garden, and now it's spring. It's the most beautiful time of the year. And you know all those jobs you did during the winter months? It's payback time. But what can you be doing this month in your garden? If you fertilise now at the beginning of the spring growing season, it will certainly pay dividends later. Now, as for those slugs and snails, particularly on my overwintered chilies, I'm going to set a beer trap. They love it. Always have a good beer, of course. And you just sort of break the ground up a little bit, get an old saucer, make it ground level, and pour in the beer like that. Hey, if you've got winter flowering climbers such as jasmine, plumbago, or even rambling roses, now's a great time to prune them back. They'll go bonkers, so be prepared for a regular trim. And finally, mulch, mulch, mulch the entire garden, especially plants like buddleia, morea and diosma. Now, I know I just told you to mulch your buddleia, but this one here needs a big haircut. If you've got one this size, you've really got to get stuck into it. Now, that may look drastic. It had to be done, though. What will happen in a few months' time, that growth will come away from just below where I've cut it, flower, and then, of course, beautiful butterflies. Remember last month we planted out some lettuce in these little jiffy pots? Well, I'm going to plant them in this styrene box just with potting mix. Now, if you haven't got a spot in your garden, these boxes are fantastic, particularly for lettuce. Simply leave them in the jiffy pot, dig a hole with your trowel, pot and all down in the potting mix, gently pressuring it down into the soil, a light watering, and look, seriously, 4 weeks' time, you'll be eating those beautiful lettuce. And to add to our small veggie garden, I'm going to be sowing a whole range of seeds, including sweet corn, peas, beans, radish, silver beet, cucumber, beetroot and zucchini. Hey, a few months ago, this gardenia was almost dead. So to bring it back to its former glory, I had to do a few things quick. Make sure, first of all, it was getting enough water. Then I fed it with some Epsom salts, then Power Feed and Sea Sol, followed up by a regular spraying of Confidor. Now, in a couple of weeks' time, the flowers are just going to start coming out, and it's going to be sensational. But you have to keep the watering and the fertiliser up right throughout the growing season. Time to start thinking about summer colour. So why not try nasturtiums, impatiens, daisies, begonia, lobelia, alyssum, polyanthus and petunias are an absolute must. You know, spring is a sensational time of the year to grow roses, but it can be a terrible time on the other hand. If we get lovely, clear, dry weather, the roses will just flourish, the risk of disease and pest minimal. But if it comes in humid, then you really need to spray with a preventative fungicide, such as triforine. And also, water in the morning. This allows the roses to dry out and really suppress the spread of fungal diseases. And speaking of roses, if you've got a rose lover in your family, look out for the new 2012 Rose Calendar. They make great presents, but don't leave it too late if you're thinking about Christmas. We can't guarantee that they'll last that long, so grab a copy now from your newsagent.